I'm Veronica and welcome to Jersey City Pilates. Hi, I'm Veronica and welcome to Jersey City Pilates. Hi, I'm Veronica and welcome to Jersey City Pilates. I've done this 3 times. Hi, I'm Veronica and welcome to Jersey City Pilates. For today's class, you're going to need a dish towel or a hand towel. We're going to use it in a couple different manners throughout class. This class does have time spent on your stomach and a bit of flexion, as well as 3 roll-ups, and so just be cautious if you take this class that this is what your body needs and is not too much or too little. Thanks. Okay. We will start on our backs, and you can just put your towel just across your waist to start. And if you have a ponytail, move it out of your way. And just bring your arms up and then let them fall back overhead. And wherever they go, if you need to make them wider to bring them back, just take a second and take a big inhale. And then exhale, start to float your arms back up. Draw your ribs towards one another, bring your back ribs towards the floor. And then now keep your back ribs on the floor and just let your arms come overhead one more time. Take a nice deep breath laterally and then exhale, bring your arms back up and then let them float all the way down by your side. If you'd rather them on your hips, you can do that instead. I'm gonna leave mine by my side. But press gently with your feet into the floor with your feet planted, and then just externally rotate from the arms. Try to widen across the front of your chest. Your hands can be wide if you need. And then curl your tailbone under, feel your low back press into the mat like you're lengthening out that low back. Pubic bone lifts up towards the ceiling. And then release your tailbone towards the floor, coming back into that neutral pelvis. Again, you can always bring your fingertips to your ribs and your hips and feel that distance shorten. Exhale, and then inhale, let that release. And then again, exhale, draw your low back towards the floor, and then inhale, release. 2 more just like this. And last one. And then find your neutral pelvis. And then you're just gonna bring your towel across the front of your thighs, but like right above where your hip bones are, and just press your hands into your thighs or your towel into your thighs as you curl your tailbone under. If it's easier for you to do this with your hands and the towel, that's fine. But feel the space in the front of your body as your back presses into the mat, and then release. And then again, press your arms or the towel across the bottoms of your thighs, tops of your thighs, whatever, near your hips as you curl under, and then release. And then one more time, you're gonna keep that pressure, the sensation of that pressure, the open through the front of your hips. Bring your arms back to the floor and then keep peeling your spine up 1 vertebrae at a time until you come into a nice bridge here. And then you're gonna take your hands back on the towel, but you're gonna move the towel right to your hip crease. And then you're gonna lower your hips down and then feel your hips press up into the towel as you lift. And then lower your hips down, curl your tailbone under, feel your hips press up. So you're giving yourself a little bit of resistance, but also using that resistance to give you feedback as you reach through the hips and open up through the front of the hips as well. Reach up through the hips. One more time. And then you can just move your towel off to the side, bring your arms long on top of your thighs, reach your fingertips towards your knees, and then curl yourself down 1 vertebrae at a time, release to neutral. So now you have this space, arms stay straight, space in between your forearms and your hips and your thighs. You're gonna reach your fingertips towards your knees as you lift your hips straight up, closing all that space in between your thighs and hips and arms. And then reach the fingertips towards the knees as you lower down. And then back up 1 more time into your bridge. And then lower back down, we're only gonna do 1 more, and then we're gonna stay up. Pausing here, reach your arms up overhead, staying in your bridge, let them fall back. Keep the shoulder blades on the mat as best you can so you're not lifting through the chest. And then bring the arms back down all the way towards the floor by your sides. And then lift them back up and overhead. Only coming so far overhead that you can stay connected through the front of your body still towards the floor. Lift the arms up. Feel the heels drag toward your shoulders. 3 more. Stay nice and still in space. You can move your head around right and left. Just make sure that you're not holding any tension there. 1 more time. Really warming up to the back of the legs. Lower your arms down by your side. Peel your tailbone down 1 vertebrae at a time. And then you're gonna lift your right leg into tabletop. Keep the work through the back of that left leg on the floor. Think about your heel driving towards your glute. And then you're gonna bring both hands onto your right leg. You can do this with your head lifted or down, your choice. And you're gonna actually just bring your right hand to your thigh, left hand to your abdominals. You're gonna take a big inhale and exhale. Press your hand into your thigh into your hand, and just notice what your abdominals are doing. If they're pressing out, release a little and try to use your breath and exhale to draw your abdominals in towards one another and get that support. And then release, and then inhale, exhale, press, and engage through the abdominals, and then release. 1 more time, staying in a neutral pelvis, and then release. And then go ahead and bring your hands behind that leg, lift it up towards the ceiling, and then bend it. And then lift and extend, bend. 2 more. Last one, leave that leg long, and then bring your hands by your sides or up towards the ceiling, your choice, and you're gonna lower your leg all the way down to the floor, and then you're gonna float it all the way back up, and then lower it down, and lift. 4 more. Thinking about opening up the front of your hip as you lower, keeping your hips nice and square. Last one. Now, as you lower your leg, your left arm is gonna come back overhead as well, and then lift back up. Left arm, right leg, lift. Right arm stays still for 3, 2. Last one. Left arm is gonna stay still, your right arm and left leg. Right arm and right leg. So same side, just noticing the difference if your weight shift wants to change. Thinking about keeping the connection in between your 2 thighs so your left leg isn't falling out to the side and your right leg is still tracking in line with your hip. 2. Last one, leave your leg at the top. You're gonna open your left, no, this is your right side. Same side, arm and leg, you're gonna open them out to the side, stabilize through the left side, and then bring them back in. And then open out to the side, use your breath, bring it back to the center. Open out, and in. You can lift your head if you'd like, doing this in a little abdominal curl. You may find that easier, you may find it harder. Do whatever works. Last one. Now last one. And then bring that knee into your chest. Bring your other knee in to meet it and just rock back and forth gently from one side to the other. And then you're gonna plant your right foot down. Find the connection in the back of your leg so that leg is still working. And then bring the left leg to tabletop. Hand on your left thigh and then right hand on your abdominals. And take a nice big inhale. Exhale. Press the thigh into the hand. Feel the abdominals sink towards the floor. And then release. And then inhale. And exhale. Feel the pelvic floor contract. Ribs towards one another. Hips towards ribs. Only so much that you're still in that neutral position, but you have that support. Release. 2 more. And release. Last one. And then bring that knee in toward your chest. Bring your hands interlaced behind the thigh and then extend the leg long and bend. And extend and bend 1 more time. Extend, leave the leg long. Hands can be up towards the ceiling or down by your sides to start, your choice, and lower the leg all the way down towards the floor. And if you find that your hips are going all over the place, just make your range of motion smaller. You can do the top or the bottom range or the middle, doesn't matter. 3 more. And we're gonna go opposite arm, opposite leg. 2. Using that left hand or the right hamstring still. Last one. Right arm, left leg, lower and lift. And again, you can do this with your head lifted if you prefer. Either way, your torso is staying nice and stable, your hips are square. For 3, 2, last one. Same side, left arm, left leg. Up and down. Thinking about reaching through the sitting bone towards the wall in front of you, like where your toes are pointed when you lift your leg. So you're rolling going the wrong direction. So you're rolling the femur rather, in the hip socket. Pause at the top. Left arm, left leg out to the side to like a 45-ish or less degree angle, back in. And then out to the side. Use your breath back in. 3 more. 2. Last one. And then bring your knees, both of them, in by your sides. And then rock yourself from one side to the other. Place your feet on the floor. Grab your towel and bring it behind your head. Having it really supporting the base of your skull, wrapping it around the ears. You're gonna slide your ribs toward your hips, curl up, and then you're gonna lengthen through the back of your body to lower down. And again, curl up and lower back down. As you're lifting, have your gaze come to your thighs, generally down your nose. And make sure that your abdominals are descending or even staying in space in the same place, but you just don't want them to dome or press out towards the ceiling, as that puts a ton of extra pressure down on your abdominals and makes moving harder. Don't want that. Last one, pause at the top. You're gonna rotate your right rib over toward your left hip, take a breath, and then come to the center. Stay lifted over to the left, inhale, exhale, find that connection back to the center. One more time, just like this to each side. Over to the left, inhale, exhale, find the connection, center, left to the right, and then to the center. You're gonna lift your left leg up, and you're gonna rotate up and over to the left, and back, to the left, and back. You're gonna do 6 more, 6, 5, 4, 3, chin stays off your chest, 2, last one, and then lower that leg down, right leg comes into tabletop. Try to keep yourself lifted and up and over to the right side. I'm gonna drop my towel and give my head a little bit more support from my arms. You can do whatever works for you. 2, last one, pause in the center, and then bring your other leg up to tabletop. Lower your head down. Keep your head lifted on this if you would like, totally up to you. Bring your arms down by your side if you do not have your head lifted. I'm gonna bring my hands towards my abdominals. I find this is more helpful for me. And I'm just gonna lower my right leg away and bring it back up. And left leg lowers. And again, just noticing whether or not my abdominals want to press up towards the ceiling and dome, or if they are engaging and working more efficiently than struggling. Two more to each side. Last one. And then bring both hands, one hand on each thigh. Curl your head, neck, and shoulders up if you like, and then press your hands into your thighs into your hands for 2, 1, release. Take a big inhale, exhale, engage to the center, press the thighs into the hands, and release. 2 more. Last one. And release. Now you're gonna bring your hand onto your right leg, extend the left, and switch sides. You're gonna move nice and slowly as you extend one leg, bring the other leg in towards your chest. You're gonna do a little press and pause while that leg is, the opposite leg is extended. Head can be down or head can be lifted. 2 more. Last one. And then bring the knees into your chest. Grab behind your thighs and rock yourself up to sit tall. And that's very dirty, sorry. All right, sitting up nice and tall, taking your towel out in front of you. Your legs can be long or they can be bent, or you could even sit cross-legged if you want, though your range of motion may be limited. I'm gonna go with bent legs to start, I think. Press your arms down so they're right in line with your chest. Lift up to the crown of your head, lengthen through the neck. And then you're just gonna pull the towel apart as you twist and rotate over to the right. And then come to the center. Twist and rotate to the left. Adjust your legs as needed. If this is super uncomfortable on your hips, you can sit on a pillow or a book. Or stand up. But whatever you do, take a look at your feet or your knees if you're standing. Just make sure that your feet are staying square. If you start to move through the hips, you're gonna notice one foot creeps forward in front of the other. I don't know if you can see that. Last one like this to each side. Finding length, keeping your torso square in between the arms. Pause in the center, and now you're gonna curl halfway back. Draw the hips towards the ribs, and then round forward over your legs. Staying rounded, you're just gonna round halfway back. Pull that towel apart, get that work through your back, chest a little bit as well, and use that pull to find space in the front of your body. And round forward. And again, if you have bent legs, you're doing the exact same thing. Thinking about putting your sacrum on the mat, your sitting bones are reaching up the back of your legs, opening through the front of the hip, flattening through the front of the hip, and rounding forward. We're gonna do one more just like this. And then we're gonna stay back. All right, pausing halfway back. Now you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna rotate over towards the right and center. Take a look at those toes. Make sure that they're staying square. And if your knees are bent, just make sure that one knee isn't sending in front of the other. 2 more. And that half roll back. Last one. Pause in the center. Go all the way back down the rest of the way, one vertebrae at a time. Lengthen the legs. Reach overhead. Reach the fingers and toes away from one another. Let your ribs come off the floor. Just get a stretch that feels good. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling. Pull the towel apart. Reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling. Your shoulder blades are going to come off the mat. And then float them down. Lift and float the shoulder blades up. Arms fall heavy towards the floor. Lift and lower. 2 more. Keep pulling that towel apart. Last one. Find a nice neutral place for the arms on your back. Float your right leg up. Bend the left knee if you need it. Bend the right knee too if you need it. Keep pulling that towel apart. You're going to use it to help stabilize you, and you're going to do circles for 6. 5 with that right leg. Left leg stays still. 4, 3. Make it as tiny as you want. 2, 3, and reverse for 6. 5, 4, 3, 2. Using those abdominals to help your leg come around. Last one. Lower that leg all the way down. Start to press your arms forward. Lift the head, neck, and shoulders. Lift the shoulder blades off the mat. Inhale, and then exhale. Draw your ribs towards your hips. Press yourself up as you round forward. Grab onto the back of your thighs if you need. Reach your arms over your legs, and then you're gonna roll halfway back one more time. Bend the knees if you want. Leave them long, doesn't matter. You're gonna come over to the right, and you're gonna lift your arms up, and then you're gonna lower them down, and lift, and lower. Keeping your legs nice and square, the rotation coming from your rib cage. 2. Last one. Come to the center. Lift up for 6. Exhale as you lower, feel your abdominals deepen a little. Keep finding that connection every time you press down. Working through the arms as well. 2. Last one. Arms at chest height, twist to the left, lift for 6. 5, you can make this as tiny as you want. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Come to the center. Roll all the way down, lift the arms up overhead. Stretch and reach. Let the ribs come off the floor. Find that place with your arms neutral on the floor. Pull the towel apart. Bring that left leg up. Knees are bent however you need, stabilizing through the right side of your body. Pulling that towel apart and circling. 4, 3, 2. Last one, and reverse for 6. 5, back ribs are heavy. 4, 2. Last one, lower the legs down. Reach forward through the arms. Grab on behind the back of your thighs if you need, and roll yourself all the way up to sit nice and tall. Just cross your legs, sit up however sitting tall works for you. Just bring the towel behind your head once, and just think about lengthening through the neck. And you're just gonna gently bring your gaze over to the right, using your arms to help move your neck, and then over to the left. Keep thinking about pressing your head back into the towel, and then come to center. And then you're gonna come onto your knees. And if you'd rather do this standing, you will stand. That's all there is to it. If you are standing, nothing changes except instead of just coming back from the knees, you're doing a full squat, otherwise nothing different. Arms out in front, pull the towel away, tuck the tailbone under. Regardless of whether you're standing or sitting, you want to find that connection in the front of your body. Your low back has length, your glutes and hamstrings are engaged, neck is nice and long, back and arms are working. And then you're just gonna sit back into that little squat and then tuck the tailbone under a tiny little bit at the top and then come back. And having your knees, feet hip width for 8. Reach forward either with your fingertips so that your wrists are straight or from the knuckles so you're not breaking at the wrists. You don't want your fingers or knuckles pointed up towards the ceiling. 3, 2, last one. Stay up wherever up is for you. Lift your arms up overhead, and then you're just gonna pull the towel apart, tap yourself on the crown of the head, and then reach your arms up and tap down and lift. Think that your elbows are coming out to the side, which lowers your towel, which is quite literally what's happening. But as you go up, think more about opening up from the inside of the elbows rather than just pressing up. Keeping the elbows almost soft. You want to make sure you're not locking them out. 4 more. Ribs to hips are connected. 3, 2, last one. Wherever you are, standing or not, you're just gonna side bend over to the right, and then come up to the top, and then over to the left, and up. Keep pulling that towel apart, keeping space between your biceps and your ears. One more nice stretch to each side. And then you're gonna lower your arms down just to chest height, pull your elbows wide, and then open up through the elbows to extend your arms. Again, watching the wrists for 10. 9, creating your own resistance. 6, 5, torso stays totally still. 4, 3, 2, last one. And then lower your arms, shake them out for a moment, and then grab onto the towel behind your back. I'm gonna stand for this. Doesn't matter. You're gonna bend your knee slightly if you're not kneeling, but either way, you're gonna pitch your body forward slightly, and you're gonna take the towel and then you're gonna reach it down towards the floor. And keep thinking about reaching it down towards the floor and externally rotating through the upper body, but not just jamming your shoulder blades towards one another. Think about it as a really active movement, out and down with the arms. Bend the elbows just slightly, and then think about reaching even more. Reaching even more. Reaching even more. Reaching even more. For 8, 7, 6, try to keep your neck in line, so whether you're pitched forward or upright. 4, 3, 2, last one. Lift the arms, keep them straight, tap your butt, and then lift. Tapping down and lift for 10, 9, breathing. 6, ribs are connected towards your hips. 5, 4, 3, my arms are tired. 2, last one, and then pause here, pull the towel apart, release. Pull the towel apart, release. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, and then lower your towel down. You can bring it onto the floor or just over to your side, wherever works for you, and then just let your arms be noodle arms. And you're gonna come down onto your stomach. You can bring the towel as a little pillow for your forehead if you'd like. If not, just plop your hands one on top of the other, and then lay your forehead on your hands. Give your hips a little rock from one side to the other on the mat, and then find a nice neutral position. And then once you have that neutral position, just make sure that you're not lifting your butt into the air. You want to think about lengthening the low back, pressing the hips and pubic bone into the floor, and then just keeping the legs ever so slightly active. From here, you're just going to extend your right leg nice and long, float it up. Keep both hips even on the floor, and then lower that leg down. And then lift to the left, and lower down. They shouldn't feel any tension in your low back. If you do, keep thinking about finding that length. You can always bring your towel underneath your hip bones or underneath your pubic bone to give you something to think about pressing into. It's like a nice method of feedback. 2 more to each side. Also, don't worry about lifting your leg very high. You can not lift it at all and just engage the back of the leg or the whole leg by thinking about pointing it and reaching towards the wall behind you. Last one. And then bring your hands by your shoulders. So your hands are right in front of your shoulders. Your upper arm is pressed down into the floor. You're going to think about pulling your palms back towards your heels as you send your chest forward through your hands, lifting up into nice low extension. Again, that length through the low back. Legs are fairly relaxed. Active, but like not holding on for dear life. And then lengthen down all the way. And then again, feel the arms pull back towards the legs as you lift. Neck is nice and long, lowering down. 4 more. 3, 2. This is gonna work for me today. Last one, lift through the chest. And then lower all the way down. And then you're gonna extend your arms out in front of you. And you're just gonna lift your right arm and your left leg. And then you're gonna lower it down. And then switch. And switch. 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 And you're gonna do 2 more to each side. So right arm, left leg. And then the other way. And then when you're done, you're gonna reach back onto your heels, press your hands into the floor, try to get your forearms on the floor, thinking about reaching your armpits onto the floor, and even like you're gonna put your sternum on the ground. Reach the fingertips away, And just take a nice active stretch in child's pose. You can rock back and forth on your forehead, whatever feels nice. Take a big inhale and feel your ribs separate from one another, wide across your back, and then exhale, let it go. One more breath, inhale, nice and wide. Feel everything trying to move, those muscles, intercostals wanting to get a little bit more space, and then exhale. And then walk your hands over to the left. Reach back with your right glute out of the left fingertips, or all the fingertips really. And then through center over to the right, reach back from the left sitting bone. Press the hands into the floor as you reach away. Gives you a nice little opposition. And then come onto all fours. From here, tuck the tailbone under, round the spine up towards the ceiling. And then release the tailbone, lift your body, find that little bit of extension, but still keeping the connection between your ribs and your hips. So you're not just sinking down towards the floor. Shoulders are also flat on your back, shoulder blades rather, and then curl up towards the ceiling and back down. One more time. And then just take a second. You can make circles with your head, with your hips, do a little side bend. Take a second and just kind of move wherever you feel like your body is like sticky, help. And then when you're ready, find a nice neutral pelvis. Reach your left leg back behind you. Float it up. Sorry, don't float it up. Leave your left toes on the floor. Pivot your right foot out to the side. Float up your left leg, and then you're gonna pivot around the right hip, and you're gonna come up into a little side plank here. Hold this for 2 breaths. Last one, reach out of the leg, keep the thigh nice and strong and engaged. Bring your right or left hand rather back to the floor, square your hips, bring that right foot in. And this time, you're just gonna go up into that side plank. And then you're gonna reach your arm down, square your hips, and then come right back up into that side plank. You're really working on rotating that femur in the hip socket on that right side, and then finding stability through your shoulder girdle on the right, and through the hip and abdominals as well. And then from here, you're gonna lower all the way down. Bring your left foot underneath you. Extend your right leg back behind you. Swivel that left foot out a little. And then find your side plank now on the left side. One more breath, keep that right leg lifted. And then square yourself off. You gently lower down. And then pick it back up. We're gonna do 2 more. Using your core to kind of be your little speed gauge as you come down. One more time. Back up and open. And then lower all the way down. Drop that knee underneath you. And you are going to walk forward towards the front of your mat a bit. And you're gonna bring your left foot back, tuck your toes under, right foot back, find your plank. Tuck your tailbone under slightly, lengthen through the front of your body. With your feet wide, you're gonna come over into a side plank on your left side. If you need to drop a leg, drop your bottom leg, no problem. If you're good in your side plank, you are going to lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Either way, you're lifting your hips. And then you're gonna drop the hips down. And then lift the hips up. And drop down. And lift. 4 more. Keeping your feet staggered. Or again, you just have your leg on the ground. Last one. Shoulder stays away from your ear. And then come all the way back. Find your plank one more time. And then over to the left. Lower the hips. Lift the hips. Reach the arm overhead. Lower. And lift. 4, 3, 2 more. Last one. Come back into your plank. Drop the knees in your plank. Sit back onto your heels for just a moment. And then you're gonna come onto your left side. Elbow is underneath your shoulder. Legs are stacked one on top of the other. They're bent and your heels are in line more or less with your glutes. You're gonna lift your right leg up. That's about at hip height. And extend your leg long, flex through the foot. Keeping yourself nice and stable. You can lay down all the way on your side if you prefer. Sweep that right leg forward, sweep it back. I like to flex my foot as I come forward and point as I sweep it back. Either, do the opposite, who cares? Hips stay square, one on top of the other, and just stay lifted through that left side. 2 more. Last one, we're gonna do circles and then change sides. Pause with your foot in more or less in line with your hip. Lift it up, back, and around. For 7. 6, 5. Find a size of circle that's nice and smooth in the hip. Shouldn't be crackling and crunching. 3, 2. Last one. Reverse for 8. 4. 3. Hip is open. 2. Last one. Bend that leg in. Side bend up and over towards your legs on the right. And then just swing your legs around. And come down onto your right forearm. Legs same position, knees bent, pointing forward. Heels more or less in line with your butt. Lift the left leg, extend it long. Flex if you want, don't if you don't. Sweep it forward. Reach back behind you. Sweeping forward and reach back. You want to make sure you're hinging at the hip, not from the low back as you come forward. So your chest should still stay open as you come forward. Stay in the same spot as you come back. You don't want to point and, again, arch from the back. 3 more. Staying lifted through your right side. 2. Your armpit is engaged. Left, right arm. Last one. Bring it in line with your hip, more or less. Circles for 8. Whatever size works for you. 6. Right leg is really quiet. 3, 2. Last one, and reverse for 8. 2. Last one, bend the knees. Side bend up and over to the right side. All right, put the towel towards the back of your mat in a relatively convenient place for you. We're gonna need it in just a moment, but first, we have to do push-ups, I'm sorry. They're my favorite. Find yourself in a nice plank. Find the length from the heels of from your heels to the crown of your head, lengthen through the neck, lengthen through the front of your chest, and then drop the knees towards the floor if you'd like. Either way, your tailbone is tucked under, and we're only gonna do 6. Reach the crown of your head long, lower down for 6. Exhale on the way up. 5. Feel your abdominals engage as you press up. 3, 2. They pick up away from the floor with you. 2. Last one. Tuck the toes under or lift, or either way, you're lifting your hips up towards the floor. Bend your knees a whole bunch. Come forward into a modified bear plank. Walk your feet in if you need. Lift your hips up to down dog. Bend them into that little bear plank, down dog, bear plank, down dog. And then just take a breath here. Bend your knees as much as you need. Press your hands into the floor. You can be in a child's pose if this doesn't work for you. Either way, start to walk your hands back by your feet. If you are in a child's pose, come into a forward fold. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Grab onto your towel. Think about pulling it apart, bend the knees, let the head be heavy. Reach the crown of your head towards your towel. Gently pull it apart as you peel your spine up, one vertebrae at a time, opening through the front of the hips. The chest, the head will be the last thing to lift. Then lift your arms up overhead, side bend up and over to the right. And then to the center, to the left. One more time each side. Over to the left last time. Bring the towel behind your head last time. Bend the knees, reach the crown of the head and the tailbone away from one another. Get a good stretch through your hamstrings. And then round your spine all the way forward. Let your hands come out from behind your head. Still hold on to the towel if you'd like. Pull it apart or just let your arms be heavy. Let your shoulders be heavy. Peel yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Lift the arms up overhead. Staying connected between your ribs and your hips. And then press down as you feel the crown of your head grow nice and tall. And you are all finished. Thank you.